Do you ever wonder how professional traders can make quick money right on the open of trading? Then you would have a nice cushion with which to work for the rest of the trading session. Well, in this video, we share a few quick trades from tape reading right on the open. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the playbook. Let's get to work on sharing these important trading lessons so you can grow your trading account.
So this is a opening drive short trade from Qualcomm after their earnings reported. A little bit of context, they gapped up to all-time highs based off this earning news. The new all-time high at 149.75. The earnings were pretty strong. They beat EPS and revenue estimates. And another strong factor in these earnings was that their 5G investments were coming to fruition. So the CEO was very optimistic about that. And of course, that is a big sector that a lot of people are going to be looking to as 5G capabilities continue to grow. So this definitely made it a hot stock in play on the day, and there were some nice pre-market levels to really trade off of to make this a strong opening drive opportunity. My levels I was looking at prior to the open were 144. It was really the base of when it first broke out. And then this 146 inflection was pretty important. You can see the hour leading into the market open, hour and a half, it was trading between this 148 to 146. And we're going to open right around this $146 mark, which we're going to watch how it holds around that area. This will be an opening drive short, and we're going to see it open weak, hold under 146, and then watch how the tape reacts into 144 and lower.
Yeah, and Matt, I just want to give some guidance to people who are watching, and a friendly reminder to you guys as well, which is an idea like this. To trade this best, you want to game plan this idea. So it's good to watch the pre-market levels, excellent job right there, but you also want to be thinking about, hey, if this pulled into a certain price, I'd want to get long there based on my longer term charts. If this got above a certain price, I'd like to get long there based on my longer term charts, and prepare for that, and not just prepare for, and I'm sure you didn't do this, not just prepare for, and I'm probably saying this from really more of the broader audience, but you love this idea. It's an excellent idea. Let's tee it up by taking a look at some of the levels. If a dip and rip has been a very common strategy that we've been deploying on the desk. I know you talk a lot about it, and a lot. We actually talked about it today on the desk, I think.
Yes.
Tim did a good job of finding, of talking through this with one of the stocks we were trading on the open today. What were we trading on the open today?
Today we're trading Roku on the open after their earnings.
So Tim did a good job of saying, hey, this is a dip and rip, meaning it pulls in right on the open, it doesn't go down anymore, and then it goes up a ton. A dip and rip. Right on the open, it sells off a little bit, it finds a little bit of support, and then it goes to the highs for the day, or it goes a lot higher.
So this is an opening drive short trade, but it actually does end up becoming a dip and rip setup where I get long after my short. So you definitely will be able to see the bigger context of the stock and really see how it acts off the open, how that dip should look, and then when it really slows and where you can get in for a reversal as well. So I think that's why this was a good tape I wanted to show, because we can see the opening weakness and then where it really holds and reverses to the upside.
Very good. Let's see it.
So, yep, we'll play it off the open here.
If you want to learn 3 more real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders, and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That will open up the free registration page in a new window, so don't worry, you won't lose this video. You can also visit tradingworkshop.com to register for this free intensive workshop. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education.
Holding under this 146 level on the open, which just signals a little bit of weakness to me as we had tried to consolidate on that level many times prior. So the market's open now. You can see the tape has some speed. There was a big offer there at 146 that never got touched. I'll just go back like a couple more seconds just so you can see it. It's highlighted in black. Right there. It doesn't get decremented at all. So now I know this 146 is really a level that wants to hold. You can see there they get through them and then quickly comes back down. So this one...
That's good to notice that. They wouldn't pay them. I noticed that on the open as well. Actually, I think I got short noticing. I was scalping right in the open. I got short noticing they didn't take the offers at 146 and was going to short it for just a quick pull in off of that. It got above it. I covered it when it got above that 146, but then it re-offered right away. The mirror image of what we talk a lot about with our tape reading, which is we want to get long, something gets below level really quickly, but then they rebid to that level succinctly. And that is, to us, a sign of strength. Gets below a level, rebids really quickly. A lot of times you'll hear us talk about, hey, we want to get long something like that and trade off of that strength. Same thing, the mirror image is the same. It leaks above something we think could be a resistance level. Or in this case, there's just a lot of good risk reward taking the short on the open because it's up so much and it could have that dip first before a rip. So you can sit there and put yourself in a position to risk 15 cents and have $3 or $2 of profitability on a quick trade.
Exactly.
It got above there, re-offered. Leaked through 146, re-offered, sign of weakness. Good to scalp against that 146 again because you see that from your tape reading skills.
Definitely. So that, as we said, gets me short at $145.85. And then I put in my hard stop above 146.
And just finishing that thought, when I cover and I see it so I'm going to take the short, cover it, and then I'm going to re-short it when I see them come back to that 146 again. So I'm going to put two quick scalps on again, and the idea is, hey, am I making money overall in my scalp strategy?
Definitely.
First one didn't work, second one does work.
Exactly, and if you have that controlled, defined risk, then you can take multiple stabs at it to really capture the full move. And so risking about 30, 40 cents for me here, we have about a point move where I'm going to cover just my first 1/5 shares. Just cover a little bit of risk. I mean, I'm up 2 times what I was risking already per share. So never hurts to just cover a little bit. This is a strong stock gapping up. So I'm being a little more aggressive and covering my shares and taking profits into weakness rather than seeing how the bounces hold as much. Because I am, as Mike was saying, wary in the back of my mind. We've been seeing these dip and rips a lot. This is the type of news that can lead to that type of trade. And so now I'm just kind of watching how it holds under 146. My main price target is 144. Like I said, being more conservative. I know if it pulls into the bottom of the range there could still be buyers. It's still holding the gap up. This could just be the small flush before we get that. And I think, as you said, it is still worth the risk to reward trade there when you have that clear 146 to risk against. Even if it won't be a large down move, you can still have great risk to reward there. So coming in here, $145 is going to kind of fall out. I'll be getting down to a third of my shares if we flush into 144. So I covered some at 144.38 and 144.06. And now holding my last third to see if we will really break down through that 144 or if the buyers hold in. So like I said, definitely a more defensive trade, making sure I take my profits. And now in the back of my mind, I'm saying, okay, 144 is the next major battleground for this stock.
Hey, stop. Matt, so when you see this, is this stock weak?
Not particularly weak to me.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay, no, it's not. This is a stock that's up a lot and is just dipping or pulling in. It could be weak, but we don't have any evidence. More time needs to go by, more volume needs to go by. But this could just be that classic dip and rip pattern, or taking some profits off of a really large gap up pattern. But that doesn't mean it's weak. It could just be going to find the place where they're going to start buying it on the open before they start buying it into a new high. And I just want to point that out as a pattern for the newer guys. You know, when you're seeing this, they may just be going, it's a discovery period. Like, where are the buyers? They're just, all right, I don't want to buy up here at 146 on the open, but maybe I want to go to 142.50, or maybe I want to go to 143. Then I'm going to start buying it up and going to make highs. But 146 right now, at this time, right on the open, I'm not ready to really commit. So let me see if I can get it for a little bit cheaper. Sorry to cut you off.
Nope, that was great. So now we're going to see how this $144 level reacts, if this is maybe that level buyers do really want to step in. So to me, the bounce off this level is pretty important. It needs to be pretty aggressive or show some real buying to make me think this could be a dip and rip. And we only really get 30 cents off that level, and now we're really stalling in here. Then in the next minute or so, we're going to see this 144 does give out, as we can't really get away from that level, keeps pulling back to it. Not a lot of buying going on, and then you can see a quick flush under the level. So now I'm thinking I probably want to be covering my last shares into an extended move under this 144. You can see I'm layered out to cover into like low 143 and then mid 142s. Because I can tell, like, on a breakdown like that through a level, this is pretty slow moving tape in my opinion. It doesn't really, they're not really pushing this down. It just feels like they're trying to discover, like Mike said, where they're trying to buy it up per se. So we'll see in the next 30 seconds here. I'll take my final covers on the trade.
Well, that's steep.
Yeah, exactly. That's getting steep. We're down over an ATR move now off the open about an ATR move. So there we go. I cover a little more of my shares into 72 cents. Seeing how steep that is.
Yeah, nice trade.
And then just have my last 15 shares, which I'm actually going to take off as soon as we kind of move right back up through 143 on kind of high volume or speed after an extended move to the downside. So that'll happen in the next like 20 seconds here. We'll see. Just trying to make that new low again. Really stalling at this 25 cents. Starting to pick back up quickly.
Yeah, and just stop. So that's too steep. And I remember trading in real time thinking I wanted to start to, at a minimum, fade trade to the long side because it was just too steep, and do the mirror image of what we did at 146 into the steepness on the long side and just trade it. Yeah. When it's going down, if you suspect a dip and rip pattern, watch for areas where they're buying a lot on the bid. Watch for that. That makes it more likely for it to be a dip and rip pattern. If you don't see that into the down move from 146, then you do have to sort of wait for it to turn around. You do have to wait to see the buying. You have to wait to see where you have protection.
Definitely. I think this move here is important. We're going to make this new low and then rebid 50 cents. And that's what really gets me defensive on my last shares. Try this 142. It gives out, rebids 142 in a sec here, and back to 142.50. So now I'm thinking maybe this is the spot buyers want it. They want to get it back over 144, which I know is a major level, as we had to spend a lot of time to break down from there initially. And then when we get over 143 here, I believe I'm getting ready to hit out. Because it's just really, I mean, the best way to put it is it just can't go down anymore, in my opinion, right now. It's just really trying to get back to those 142s, but then the 142.50s just keep holding. And right there, I hit out 141.70, or no, 142.82. I covered my last shares in there. So before we got over 143. And then this is a separate trade, so I won't go into it. But like I said, this turns into a dip and rip setup, and I actually did get long in there at 143.12 after I got out of my short. And this pretty quickly works in my favor. It's up half a point from where I got in already. So feeling pretty comfortable to leave this to trend. And then I'll just skip forward to show how this dip and rip develops. Just because we were talking about that so much, us as a common theme. And even before getting to the short trade before it, we can just see what a strong base consolidation we get at this 144 level after our extended down move.
Couldn't really get below that 143.50 area, right?
Exactly. And see right here, just all these wicks.
That's a good way to think of looking to see the confirmation on a dip and rip pattern is like, where can it not go down anymore?
Exactly.
They try and there was, I remember this one time, we were talking about this in real time. So if you take a look at that chart, I remember specifically we talked about this. So VWAP at the time was still up towards 144 intraday on my VWAP. Maybe it was a little bit lighter than that. And I remember you saying you got long from 143.50-ish, maybe a little bit better than that. And I remember saying to you, it's still below VWAP until it
Right.
needed to get above 144.25 to really start to clear and be clearly above VWAP. And so there was buying at that 143.50 area, but that buying was still below VWAP. And 143.50 is still not that far away from the low. And so what happens there is you get some buying at that 143.50, but you also get some people selling it around 144 to play for the low of the day. And so you get a little bit of a battle. And what happened was at 143.50, they really hit it hard to try and push it below that 143.50 area and get it to roll over again. And get it to roll over again and go to the low. And what happened? It couldn't go lower. It couldn't go lower. They tried, they hit it hard on the bid, harder than they had at any point during the morning, and they just couldn't get it to go lower. And when you see something like that, when it's holding a level, and then they really try to get it to go lower, and you see that volume pick up, and you see the intensity of them hitting the bids faster and harder than they had before, and it can't go down, that's the type of order flow, seeing it, support level that's being put in that can really create great trades. Particularly if they've got great earnings, it's got a good looking daily chart, this could go a lot higher. It's now pulled in 3-4 points from the open. That is a good setup to look at. You can trade that on the long side against that 143. It gets above VWAP, you get some people covering it, you get new people wanting to buy it, and that can be a pretty good trade. But I'm not buying that at that 143.50 unless I see them trying to push it lower. They can't, because I'm worried that it's below VWAP. I got to really see it there. But if I do see it, I know that could really make it go up. And it did, right? It went up. It became the catalyst to go up to 148, if I remember correctly.
I can skip ahead like 30 minutes and we'll see where it finishes out on the morning.
I think it got up to about 148, if I remember correctly.
There we go. Yep. I had that 148 level marked out, kind of pushed over it. I took my final sale at 147.82, so right in front of that 148, kind of expecting it to hold.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why I looked away to PDD afterwards, because it had made the move I was really looking for, and then, yeah, we start to base around that 148.
Okay. Look, and we're just trading on the open. We're doing a lot of scalping here. We're not really talking a lot about that trade that I talked about could be turned into a swing trade. But we're just trading the order flow on the open and trading some patterns that you'll see quite a bit when you trade on the open for stocks in play. These are stocks in play, fresh news catalyst, a lot of people interested in, and you can see how we think through these trades. All right, Matt, I appreciate it. Any questions for Matt?
What do you mean by this is the type of news that could lead to that type of trade? Talking about dip and rips, question mark? What was special about the news that would give you that indication? So I could answer that if you want, or...
Yeah, you answer, I'll supplement.
Perfect. So what was special about the news was that all of the earnings, all the parts of the earnings report were positive. So good guidance going forward, 5G doing well, beat EPS and revenue, and had gapped to a new all-time high in the pre-market. So to me, that shows there could be really special demand, as maybe they think there's a fundamental change for the company here, and maybe funds need to readjust positions, which could lead to longer trending moves, especially on these dip and rip setups if we're thinking they're really accumulating down there off the open, thinking this could be a big change for the company. So I know for me, when it gaps to all-time highs, that's something that gives me a little more confidence this could have some large moves to either direction.
Yeah, we want to trade catalysts, either news catalysts or technical catalysts. We want to trade stocks with catalysts, either a news catalyst like this or a technical catalyst. We want to be in things that, not that they have to, but things that can, at the end of the day, in this case, be at their high. Things that can trend and catch a bid for the intraday and be strong. Again, not that it has to do that, but we're looking for things that can finish at the low of the day or finish at the high of the day because they're easier to trade. When you have those catalysts, a news catalyst or a technical catalyst, you can really catch things move directionally for many, many points. So that's why we're looking at that. Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comment section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.